sometimes you have to fall on your back to get up.
Getting hot in here, except it's not getting hot. So take off all your clothes. Except I'm putting on more clothes. Wow. Hello! What? Okay. Hello. Are you wondering what you're doing on a bed? You're chilling. That's what you're doing. Well, I'm gonna read to you something that I wrote because I said in the last video I would, and I keep my promises, so... First off, to give you a little background on the piece, I called it The Year of the Fungus. It's inspired solely, in the beginning especially, off of an image that I had stuck in my head in nature, and it started from that. I didn't know the direction where things would go. It took a philosophical turn as I started to write it, but I really don't mind it. I think that's about it for what I want to give away. It is a little bit dark, it is quite atmospheric, and I definitely recommend that you close your eyes for this kind of reading, if you want to. I promise I will not do anything weird while you're looking away. But if you do not want to do that, then I'm gonna try my best to create some kind of visual that gives you some kind of idea. Also, this is not going to be my usual format of video in the sense that the focus is not going to be on me or my face or this room or whatever you see right now. It's going to try to be that visual support. If, however, I don't do that, my bad. Still recommend that you close your eyes with it and enjoy and imagine and really immerse yourself in the words that I'm choosing to put in there. Also, please, when you're watching this, when you're listening to this, give me any kind of feedback that you have, because I want to improve my writing style and I want to work on it, and I want you guys to see it and to meet it for the first few times and see what you like about it, see what you think works and what doesn't. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and let's get on with it. The Year of the Fungus. Frozen, yet brimming with life, the sight before you stands. Take a gulp of humid air, rest your weary eyes, for you have entered the realm where the mushrooms reign. Let the feeling of sunken, dewed by sweat eyes, lead to sleep. Fall to the ground, let the shade intoxicate your limbs, make them heavy, numb. As if boneless, fold yourself into the textured, inky forest grounds. Years of running, you don't even remember the lands your feet paved. Races you ran in the search of freedom now burn, pulsate sorely. You feel the raw blisters, pink, exposed and bleeding. You wait to oxidize now. The blood keeps resurfacing in waves on your sallow, dry skin, until it stops. You let yourself coagulate in a land that, if not for being famished and tired, blinded by pain, you would have called a land of damp and cool decay. The smell of peat, mold, wet soil, all sit wrapped in a coldness that awakens your smell, makes it feel crystal and clearly decomposing. In a land of desolation, your unsatisfied soul takes shelter, even if just for a second. The air stings, it burns, your inflamed nostrils too delicate now to handle anything but faintness, and yet you hungrily take big breaths in disdain of any discomfort. As you inhale thoroughly, your blinks become slower, slightly clearing your blurred vision. A yawn tentatively forms in the back of your throat. You let your chest expand. You feel the cool air, refreshing, crazy fill your lungs. As the carcass resists, the air transmutes now, warmly through your flared and yielding nostrils. You feel it as steam coming off a cup of hot milk, comforting, soft, a promise of rest. The half tears of the yawn clean your vision completely. Now you see. Now you know. But what? Why now do you feel for the first time catharsis? Roots, trunks, moss, all dark and dewed, textured, curl and twist before your eyes. Light makes its way through sparse holes that branches leave to make room for others. Its golden warmth tickles the mosaics brimming with black, brown, and green of all shades. The ground you sit on is soft, ever so slightly damp, yet your clothes resist the coolness. Somehow, now, lying in the humid embrace of it all, you feel enveloped in this memory of a Roman bath you never seldom experienced, but heard of. You can hear a distant river, which only adds to the feeling. It hums in rhythmic, rushed, yet serene waves towards a pool of water where it all resides. The pond is but a leg's length away from you. How beautiful it all looks and feels as you sit down, as you look more and more. How fast fear, exhaustion turns into awe, quiet. How funny it is to love that which scares you. And yet, everything does. And yet, you love everything. In a land of shadow, your surrender turns to childlike wonder, even just for a moment. The pond is green, of all shades, of all depths, yet the water is not murky. The small fissures that rays of light make in that puddle of a lake reflect on the aimless tree trunks and their dancing leaves. Mushrooms spread like ants around an unidentifiable crumble in patches, only in the shade. So delicate, you think to yourself, just like you, just like a book, filled with thin, cigarette paper-like spines, they sit. Just like any living, breathing story, their gills, their pages sit, encased, protected in their caps. Novels have covers, humans have bodies, mushrooms have caps. We all are made from the same wretched clay, aren't we? You feel a breeze, a light, golden breeze, the wetness of the water, the smell of soft, warm cedarwood you ran by in search of freedom, the smell of grass and dirt. You smell it all and you close your eyes. You feel the pain, the squirm of the heart in looking back at all the places you went but have never truly seen. You think of all the feelings, people you never let touch you. Now, left choiceless by exhaustion, do you see that liberation, longing and belonging were not in a place, an object, a being. Freedom was you. Purpose was you. Home was you. Destiny, fate, all you. You are in everything. The moment was always yours, from the second you took your first steps towards finding it. Disheartened, with tears gathering in your eyes, and an excruciating ache in your chest, you let out a sigh, so heavy, so shivered, the weight of the world might just lie in it. The anvil off your chest gets lifted, and for the first time, you realize it was there, but now, no more. You could have stopped, you could have lived, you could have moved, and still taking a break here and there. It was never a place you were seeking but yourself. You never succumbed to the silence of stillness, so you never heard even a whisper outside yourself. All the running, all around the lands, from lush forests, deserts, oceans, jungles, seas, hills, and mountains, yet you don't know what they look like. Only their names, only that your feet mark them. Your feet have no memory. Your body doesn't remember what your eyes can't see, what your ears can't hear, what your nose can't smell, or what your skin can't feel. In running for liberty, you refuse to take a day off. How futile all seems now, but at least you stopped. At least now, after a lifetime of search, you found what was always in plain sight. If only you took off your blindfold. Your body sinks into itself as disbelief and acceptance settle into your old bones. The mirage before you starts to prepare for sundown. Dusk. The time you always feared to close your eyes at, for you might fall asleep for once, is inevitably here. The dark, the shade, all call to sleep. And yet, the mushrooms thrive in it. Red, white, brown, with specks, with dots, smooth. All of them lay still, but never stiff in the grounds. Maybe it is time for you to sleep, after all, you think to yourself. For all the rush, now, in the last seconds of what is but won't be day, you found yourself. As the last burning ray of sun caresses the grounds and disappears, you look around, freeze the serene picture. A woven forest, its floors covered in moss, patches full of fungi of all kinds, a pond that glimmers each chance it gets. The sounds play repetitively, the water, the rustle of the wind through the still green leaves, your breath. The smell of mud and vegetation changes and evolves, never strays away from its earthy roots. All color has now turned to a symphony of black, blue, and white. The scent of wet mushrooms reaches you for the first time, adds to the trail of scent, a light, ethereal, and earthy tone as if from inward. So peculiar, yet you care not to inquire it, just to sense it. Fascinated yet lifeless, you turn back to your restful observing. All seems the same as when you sat down, but now it's wrapped in different cloths, ones beyond your understanding. The time has come, as day turns to night, as life turns to death, as dream turns to memory, for you to resign in the grounds you came from. A last look, a last breath, a last touch of the ground, and moment of your silence, you close your eyes. They stay shut, as if glued, as the ocean meets the horizon. You don't oppose. You are content. You felt freedom for a few hours, in all its worldly delight, through all the senses. You become limp. The ground beneath you softens, melts into itself, as you sink into it, slowly and completely. As the earth swallows you, you feel yourself morphing. Your body shrinks and shrivels. Your limbs, muscles, and bones turn to that originary clay that yields to nature's touch. If you ever knew what a massage would feel like, this would be it. Bending and bowing of the deepest tissues and muscles. It feels fated, a fated breaking of your very body as you know it. With each crack and change, something starts to reform. Your legs become bulbs, your torso stems, your head, your eyes, your mind, your nose, your ears turn to gills. You are death. You are rot. You are mold. You are a new patch of mushrooms in the land of this world. Alive, you now stand still. You are all, and all is you, in the place where life and death are but synonyms. The year of the fungus.
I'm done. I promise I shut up. I hope I did the writing some kind of justice, and I hope it served as some kind of exercise of imagination for you. But I also hope the words actually created the space for you to envision everything that I was telling you. I kind of wanted to go for something almost not necessarily hypnotic, but a little bit like a meditation. And I hope that came across as that. If not, well, you live and you learn. So yeah. Regardless, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I want to thank you so much for listening to this. And any thoughts, and I mean any thoughts you have on this, please let me know in the comments, wherever you want. Whatever it is. Always want my videos to be a conversation. I always want them to be a space in which friends just connect with each other and say, hey, maybe you want to change this, or maybe this doesn't work out. I'm more than open to anything you've got to say, if it makes sense and I can understand it. If not, I'm gonna ask for clarification. So I hope you're having a good time whenever you're watching this. I hope you're having a nice week. Kisses and hugs to you. Take care of yourself, and let's make something out of this here, kids. See you in the next one. I'm moving the camera.